Hi, my name is Ethan Perreiah with My House, My Home, and today we have Kris Schwenk with Rainman Rain Gutters. Thank you for being here today.
Glad to be here.
Yes, as you can probably tell, he is in the rain gutter business. So tell me a
That I am.
little bit about that, how you got into it, what you provide.
The original owner of Rain Man, I met over a game of pool, and he happened to be looking for a right hand man. The business was growing, and I kind of fell into it, and it was almost 25 years ago now.
Awesome.
So yeah, I kind of got lucky, stumbled into this local company that I've watched grow over the years, and kind of been part of that.
Awesome.
So
So what
yeah.
did you do before you got into?
Short stint in the military.
Awesome.
25 years ago, I was a lot younger, fresh out of the military, trying to figure out life. I won't suggest to you that I've done that yet. I'm still working on that.
Nice.
But yeah, I found myself a great company to work for, and something I believe in doing.
Awesome. So what does a day-to-day kind of day in the life look like for you?
Most of what I do for the company is outside sales, job coordination. I do a lot of estimating on commercial projects, stuff off of plans. Um, Probably have a little bit of a hand in um, each of those kinds of things for the company.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So I know nothing about rain gutters. All I know is that I see them on my house.
Well, there's a lot of common
what?
misconceptions about
Yeah, tell me
around
about
rain
that.
gutters.
Yeah.
Well, the idea behind rain guttering is to help you protect your home, and I've found that rain gutters have about a 3-year payoff, meaning the money that you invest, if you're going to stay in the home more than 3 years, you're gonna get your money's worth, just in what it's going to protect your building materials, the paint, the siding, the foundation. It's not uncommon for people to get water into their home through the basement. And a lot of times it's because of the lack of rain gutters. And we have a couple months a year where the ground might be frozen. And that creates this opportunity for water to get into the home. And that's what I meant when I was talking about common misconceptions. A lot of people think they need rain gutters just to keep the water off their head,
Yeah.
when they come in the side door of the house. But really, it's about protecting the home.
So, as the consumer, if I was to have you come out to my house, what are things that I need to look for while you're giving me an assessment of what might need to be fixed? What are things I need to look for?
Well, certainly you want to make sure your home is, prepped for a good rain gutter install. So if there's some paint work to be done, you'd want to get that out of the way. It's very common to be doing rain gutters for people in conjunction with a new roof. So, if your roof's not in order and you were going to re-roof the home within the next year or two, certainly it would make sense to look at doing your rain gutters at the same time. Modern codes with roofing do tie into the rain gutter system to some degree, so it's best to have that in place, and then the new gutter system can be installed and tucked up underneath it, the new drip edge flashing that's part of the new roof system. But in terms of the wear and how much on your home, that's something we kind of talk through with people. Each house is going to have areas that are more important to do than others, and sometimes you might be rain guttering a certain part of the home that's less important, but as a way of carrying the water to a better place to drain. And we have various different gutter sizes, types of material, hanging systems. And so with our, past experience, we know what works and what doesn't, and we would kind of offer you what makes sense for your home.
Yeah. So, kind of with what you said, misconceptions. I feel like there's certain, like the DIY guys that are like, I can put on rain gutters on my house myself.
Well, you can.
What's kind of the
Yeah.
downside to that?
Well, there's the materials that are available to you through the local home stores really are kind of inferior compared to what somebody like us can provide. We have the ability to extrude material right on site, metal, roll formed, or what they call seamless. just refers to this process of manufacturing the material on site. So you're taking a raw sheet metal and essentially extruding that as a rain gutter in aluminum or steel or whatever the material we're using for that particular job. What you're going to get from the local home store oftentimes is plastic or light gauge metal, or they're put together in sections, so it creates a lot of seams unnecessarily. And with the sectional gutter system like you're going to get from one of the home stores, it's very difficult to get the proper slope. And with the lighter weight materials, they don't usually stand up to the harsh winters that we have.
Gotcha. That's good to know. What's your favorite part about your job?
My favorite part is probably the variety. When I come into the office in the morning, I never know who I'm going to meet or what the projects are going to be like.
Yeah.
So the people, I meet a lot of different people doing this.
Yeah.
So that's probably the best part.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of people moving into this area, so it's been kind of fun for me getting to know some of these people.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
Interesting.
probably my favorite part.
The type of like materials that you guys, homes in Spokane, we use, is it different than like a rainier place like Seattle? Is there anything as far as treatment that people have to do differently?
Yeah. That's a good question. We certainly have snow and ice to deal with here, and we have the ability to extrude a heavier gauge material on a structure that may have a need for that. A good example is a home or a building with a metal roof is going to allow for the snow to slide off in the wintertime, and that can place a tremendous load on the rain gutter. So we have the ability to do a seamless steel rather than aluminum, and it's actually quite affordable.
Gotcha.
But it's nearly 7 times stronger than the standard aluminum would be.
Gotcha. Interesting.
So that would be an example of what we would use in this market where, coastal area that has above freezing temperatures wouldn't necessarily have the same challenges.
Interesting.
And not every gutter company offers that, by the way.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, most of our competitors are what I call owner-operator,
Okay.
And the machines that can extrude these heavier gauge materials are quite a bit more expensive, and so they don't necessarily outfit their company with the ability to do that.
Gotcha. How many companies would you say provide that service that you guys provide then?
Well, I think the last time we counted, there might have been somewhere between 30 and 35 different companies that offer some level of rain gutter service.
Okay.
And that could be, the guy on Craigslist, all the way through to companies like us, or even different roofing contractors may own a gutter machine, but they don't necessarily specialize in that industry.
Gotcha. Cool.
So it's not a bad thing. I mean, it helps
Yeah.
to keep us competitive, but we're more of a full service operation, you might say, when it comes to rain gutters.
Awesome. When do you think's the time, if someone's owned their house for X amount of years, when should they get a quote or an estimate on their rain gutters, or when should they have someone come out and see if they need any repairs or something like that?
Well, if it's a newer home, you will see where a builder may not offer any kind of rain gutters in new construction. It's not a building code requirement, so it's not a bad idea to get your home protected right away. If it's an older home that's got an older set of rain gutters, you'll typically start to see things like corners leaking and even some bent material from the stress of snow and ice, which will make the gutters hold water and overflow. So that's kind of a telltale sign that your gutters might need some attention. And if they are a modern gutter system, and by modern I mean made within the last 30 years, we may even have the ability to come in and replace isolated sections. It's not necessarily an all or none type of thing.
Gotcha.
But there's usually obvious signs, from corners leaking and then leaving staining on the fascia, or, a nuisance drip will cause ice buildup on your concrete walkways in the wintertime. So there's pretty obvious signs if you're looking for it.
Yeah. Well, I feel like I've learned. I started knowing nothing about rain gutters, and now I feel like I have a pretty decent understanding of what to look for. So what does the rest of your year look like, or this spring look like for you? Are you guys pretty busy right now?
The spring is a naturally busy time of year.
Yeah.
There's 2 high volume times a year. It's usually spring and fall. The spring, mostly once things start to turn green and painters are painting, roofers are roofing, kind of goes hand in hand with what we do.
Yeah.
So, and I think spring fever just makes the phone ring.
Yeah.
But never too busy.
Never too busy,
Never
right?
too
You
busy.
can never be too busy. Actually, sometimes you can be too busy, right?
But good advice for folks would be to consider that the fall is the busiest time of year for getting your rain gutters on. So it seems like every year people are surprised at the longer lead times going into the fall.
Okay.
But when people are working on their houses all summer long, roofing, siding, painting, and rain gutters are part of that. They're at the tail end, and so we do get a huge volume of calls late in the fall in anticipation of winter.
Okay.
So the lead times are a little longer.
Okay. So note to self: get it done in the early summer or late spring.
Well, if you can, if you can. Sometimes it just works out that way. You know, if you can't get the house painted in time, or your painter has a longer schedule than he first thought, which we've seen a lot of that the last couple of years.
Awesome.
But yeah, the fall is the busiest time of year for sure.
Cool. Well, Kris, thank you so much for coming on today. And
Absolutely.
it was a
I was
pleasure
glad to be
having
here.
you on, and I learned a lot. So
You
thank
can
you
have
for,
me out to your house.
Yeah. Actually, I probably my
All
home's
right.
13 years old, and I don't think anyone's checked my rain gutters. So maybe a good time, right? So
Well, maybe no news is good news.
no news is good
Yeah.
news. Well, thank you for tuning in to My House, My Home, and have a great rest of your day.
Weather in the inland Northwest can wear you down. And if your gutters are in poor condition or you do not have gutters, you could suffer damage that could cost a fortune to fix. Rainman Seamless Rain Gutters has almost 30 years of professional experience in serving the inland Northwest region and strives to ensure customer service that is second to none from the time you call to the end of the project.
Hi, this is Larry Myers, normally at River Ridge Hardware, here at Peters Hardware, where I've been blessed to be able to buy it. Initially started in 1934 by Bill Peters, and I was blessed to be able to purchase that from the Peters family. Peters Hardware is located at 12118 East Sprague, enter off of Pines and First. We have all the quality home products that you need, including quality paint now where we can match any color that you want. We're here for you for all your home needs. Come on by to Peters Hardware in Spokane Valley.